Namaste everyone. Today I want to share a simple story with you. It is not a story about a king, a millionaire, or a famous celebrity. It is a story about an ordinary man named Ramesh. The reason I like this story is because it teaches us how a person ought to be in life. A few years ago, Ramesh lived in a small town. He worked as a clerk in a private company. His salary was average, his house was small, and his life was like that of millions of people around us. Every morning he would wake up, get ready for work, and stop at a tea stall before heading to the office. The tea stall owner was an elderly man named Harry. Over the years, many people came and went, but Ramesh remained one of Harry's most regular customers. One morning, a new employee named Vikram joined Ramesh for tea. As they stood there sipping hot tea, Vikram looked around and noticed something unusual. Everyone who passed by greeted Ramesh with a smile. Some waved at him, some stopped for a quick chat, and some simply nodded with respect. Vikram laughed and said, "Ramesh bhai, are you secretly some famous person in this town? Everyone seems to know you." Ramesh smiled and replied, "No, not at all. I am probably the most ordinary person you will ever meet." Harry, the tea seller, joined the conversation and said, "Ordinary? Maybe. But people like him because he treats everyone well." Vikram looked surprised and asked, "Really? Is it that simple?" Harry nodded and said, "Most people think success makes people respect you. I have spent 30 years selling tea. I can tell you that character earns more respect than success." The statement stayed in Vikram's mind. As they walked toward the office, he asked Ramesh, "Tell me honestly, how did you become this positive? Most people I know complain about something every day." Ramesh laughed and said, "Because I used to be exactly like that." "What do you mean?" asked Vikram. Ramesh replied, "When I was younger, I compared myself to everyone. If my friend bought a motorcycle, I felt bad. If my neighbor got promoted, I became jealous. If someone earned more money than me, I spent the whole night thinking about it. I was always looking at other people's lives." "So what changed?" Vikram asked. Ramesh smiled and said, "My grandfather." One weekend, after another frustrating week, Ramesh visited his grandfather. He sat beside him and complained for almost an hour. "Grandfather, everyone is moving ahead in life. My friends have bigger houses. They earn more money. They travel to better places. I feel like I am falling behind." His grandfather listened quietly and then asked a simple question. "Ramesh, if you spend your entire journey looking at someone else's road, how will you ever walk on your own?" Ramesh remained silent. His grandfather continued, "There will always be someone richer than you, smarter than you, and more successful than you. If comparison becomes your habit, happiness will always stay out of reach." That day, Ramesh learned his first lesson. Stop comparing and start improving. Months passed, and Ramesh slowly changed. He focused on becoming a better version of himself rather than competing with everyone around him. One evening, while returning from work, he noticed a crowd gathered on the roadside. A man had collapsed near a bus stop. People were looking at him, but nobody was helping. One man said, "Someone should call an ambulance." Another replied, "Yes, someone should." Everyone expected somebody else to act. Ramesh walked over and checked on the man. "Sir, can you hear me?" he asked. There was no response. Without wasting time, he called an ambulance and stayed with the man until help arrived. The next day he reached the office late, His manager looked annoyed. "Ramesh, this is the third time this month you have been late." Ramesh explained what had happened. The manager shook his head and said, "You should not get involved in every situation." When Ramesh told Harry and Vikram about it later, Vikram asked, "Do you think it was worth the trouble?" Ramesh looked at him and said, "Let me ask you a question. If that man had been your father, would you want people to walk away or stop and help?" Vikram immediately replied, "I would want someone to help." "Exactly," said Ramesh. "That is all I need to know." A few weeks later, the recovered man came looking for Ramesh. He thanked him with tears in his eyes and said, "Most people passed by. You stopped. I will never forget that." That day Vikram learned something important. Kindness costs very little, but it can mean everything to someone else. Several months later, another situation tested Ramesh's character. A supplier accidentally transferred extra money into the company's account. The mistake was large enough that nobody would have noticed if it had remained hidden. One colleague whispered, "Stay quiet. Nobody knows." Another said, "This is your lucky day." Ramesh thought about it all evening. The next morning he reported the mistake and the money was returned. His colleagues laughed. "You are too honest. You missed an opportunity. You will never become rich this way." Ramesh smiled and replied, "Maybe. But I will sleep peacefully tonight." Harry later heard about the incident and said, "That is the problem today. People think honesty is a weakness." Ramesh shook his head. "No, dishonesty is a weakness. Honesty requires courage." As time passed, Vikram began observing Ramesh more closely. He noticed that whenever someone made a mistake, Ramesh did not immediately criticize them. One day a junior employee accidentally deleted an important file. The office became chaotic. People started blaming him. "You are careless. You don't know how to work. You always make mistakes." The young employee looked frightened. Ramesh walked over and said, "Relax. Mistakes happen. Let's focus on solving the problem." After the issue was resolved, Vikram asked him, "Why didn't you get angry?" Ramesh replied, "Because I have made mistakes too." But he could have caused a major problem. "True," said Ramesh, "but shouting would not fix it." Then he added something Vikram never forgot. Whenever you feel like judging someone, remember there may be a struggle in their life that you know nothing about. Years passed. Vikram got promoted. Ramesh remained the same humble person he had always been. One evening they sat together at Harry's tea stall watching people pass by. Vikram asked, "Ramesh bhai, after everything life has taught you, what do you think is the secret to living well?" Ramesh smiled and took a slow sip of tea. "I don't think life is about becoming the richest person." "Then what is it about?" asked Vikram. "It is about becoming a good person." Vikram laughed and said, "That sounds simple." "It sounds simple because people have complicated it," replied Ramesh. "What do you mean?" Ramesh said, "People spend years chasing money, status, and recognition. There is nothing wrong with success. Work hard and achieve great things. But never lose your character while chasing success." Harry nodded in agreement. Ramesh continued, "Help people when you can. Be honest when it is difficult. Stay humble when you succeed. Stay strong when you fail. Respect people regardless of their status. Keep learning throughout your life. If you can do these things consistently, you will have lived a meaningful life." For a few moments, nobody spoke. The evening sun was setting. The sound of traffic filled the air. Finally Harry smiled and said, "In 30 years of serving tea, I have met rich people, powerful people, and famous people. Some are remembered and some are forgotten. But the people everyone remembers are those who treated others with kindness." Ramesh smiled and stood up to leave. Before walking away, he turned to Vikram and said one final sentence. "Life is not about becoming a great person in the eyes of the world. Life is about becoming a good person when nobody is watching." And perhaps that is the greatest lesson of all. At the end of life, people may forget how much money we earned, what position we held, or how many awards we received. But they will always remember how we treated them. If we can leave behind kindness, honesty, respect, and compassion, then we have truly lived a successful life. He said, "Life is not about becoming a great person in the eyes of the world. Life is about becoming a good person when nobody is watching." Moral of the story: a person ought to be honest even when nobody is checking. Be kind even when there is no reward. Be humble even after success. Be patient with others. Help people whenever possible. Stop comparing and focus on self-improvement. Respect everyone regardless of status. Keep learning throughout life. Value character more than wealth. Leave behind kindness, not just achievements. Because in the end, people may remember what you did, but they will never forget how you treated them. Before I conclude, I would like to sincerely thank each one of you for giving me your valuable time and listening to this story with such patience and attention. In today's busy world, time is one of the most precious gifts we can offer, and I truly appreciate that you chose to spend these moments with me. I hope this simple story has given you something meaningful to think about and perhaps a lesson that you can carry with you in your daily life. Stories have a unique way of teaching us lessons that facts alone cannot, and every story leaves behind a message for those willing to listen. Thank you once again for being such a wonderful audience. I look forward to sharing another interesting and inspiring story with all of you very soon. Until then, take care of yourselves, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep being kind to the people around you. Thank you everyone.